Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Insight Reviews. This video is going to be about Chapter 8 review of Think Again by Adam Grant. The Chapter 8 is Charged Conversation. At first, it tells about depolarizing the divided decisions. In this, the author tells about going to talk about the polarizing topics like death penalty for a person, then abortions of babies and all. So in this, the author says to go to a stranger who disagrees every fault, like Peter J. Coleman. He tells that every person should have the right mindset before engaging in a conversation. He uses an article called Gun Control, in which there is both conflicting and non-conflicting end. So we can classify a conversation into black and white side. For example, if you are taking the benefits of coffee, you can see that in some newspapers it will be like coffee, while drinking coffee this much cups will be beneficial for health, whereas in some other newspaper it will say drinking this much coffee will not be beneficial for health. So we need to get the gray side if we really want to understand. For example, in previous ages the drinking of coffee to a certain level was beneficial for health, but the new study has found that drinking higher amount of coffee leads to less amount of sleep and all. So nowadays internet has become a weapon of misleadings. Which causes people to think in binary bias state, causing problems to everyone. And these are some of the things mentioned in this chapter. The author tells about some inconvenient truth. It tells about Al Gore, who has done an award-winning best documentary for An Inconvenient Truth, telling about the global crisis which is happening across the world. On at first, some people didn't allow because of some changes which is happening. Then almost few people in America then engaged. Almost 59% believe that the environmental crisis is becoming one of the most thing, so they need to take action, whereas 16 didn't believe. So we need to have discernibility in our belief to shape what we are need to believe and what we shouldn't believe. So each people will have their own perception and their things. So we need to skeptic and honor what are we going to do about things. So knowledgeable person do something which surprises other people. Like I told in newspapers, it will say it has not been a problem in that moment. So according to the situation, it changes day by day. So now all around the world has noticed that global crisis is happening day by day. And the author tells about Daniel Goleman, who has written about emotional intelligence. Here, author has told that there is two type of scientists who argue with emotional intelligence is way important for survival, and one another to combine two scientists, and another scientist told that emotional intelligence is not at all required, it's a scam. But according to some situations, emotional intelligence is really required. Without that we can't do what we want. So emotional intelligence depends on the scenarios that's happening in life. For example, we need to know how to behave with the person, like walking their own shoes and what all they have been gone through. So if we are emotionally not intelligent and behaving the same towards every person, it will be going to be a crisis towards everything. So you need to know how to behave with parents, how to behave with whole people, how to behave with kids. And some people things like emotional intelligence are not important and they behave same with everyone. That's not good. Then this Daniel Goleman was an author and a science journalist. He has 12 years of experience in brain and behavioral sciences. That's why he wrote this book, Emotional Intelligence, a groundbreaking book that redefines the meaning of smart emotional intelligence. So our IQ doesn't matter if we don't know how to behave and engage with people. Then the author tells about mixed feelings. This means you need to look at others' perspective and work on their own shoes so that you will get a clear picture of what all things they have engaged in their life, then what all they have overcome and how it made them stronger. and without an understanding in person, we should never judge, because some people are trying very hard to figure out themselves, and then they judge. Is it is easy to judge, but difficult to understand. This is one of the most reason why so many relationship and so many things don't work. So better to ask what's wrong with some person if they are acting strange, because they will be having something in mind. So it's better to show the emotional intelligence and caring, so that the person will feel comfortable and will form a good bond. So you need to make sure that emotions are out while having conversation regarding some important issues like dealing, for example, for doctors and professionals, while they are doing some business or doing some surgery and all. We need to make sure that emotions are out and be respectful towards what they are doing. For example, for your work, if your bosses are not saying that this is not up to the mark, you need to make sure that how they want it and know from their perspective, and make sure that you are working like that. And it has been noticed that the people can be divided into unproductive and productive people. The unproductive ones are the ones who have both positive and negative thoughts, whereas the productive one is always a work in progress. They learn from what they are getting. They don't take any compliment or any crisis as positive and negative. For them, it's a work in progress, and they always develop and develop. The other tells a scenario about a black man who was taking pictures at a zoo, and a white woman lady came with a dog. It was told that the woman need to tie the dog on the lash, where the black man starts filming her on the phone, and she tells like she will call the police, and she have done the same. She called the police, and the police came, but this video has when gone viral on the internet itself, causing act towards racism and all. But after a few times, the woman self apologizes, and she tells that she did all this because she was just scared. She is not at all engaged in creating racism. So the black man tells what people have caused in the comments, likes, and all are their own perception about the world. So he said that it's about the woman and it's the understanding between these two. So the thing is, the others are reacting towards that, whereas these two people have a total understanding and the problem is resolved. So we need to make sure that what we are doing is a work in our progress, and we are not yet reached where we want. So we need to rethink the decision we have taken in our life. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Do subscribe for more updates.